On March 1st, 2022, the Galactic Starcruiser, a 2-night live-action role-playing choose-your-own-adventure experience set within the Star Wars universe. However, 14 months and 16 days later, on May 18, 2023, the Walt Disney Company announced that the Galactic Starcruiser will be closing on September 30th, 2023. Why did this project fail so spectacularly? Can they salvage this idea? And what's Disney's next move? The Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser journey began with a pivotal moment, an online survey conducted by Swagbucks. In April 2017, Disney turned to Swagbucks to gauge interest among visitors for a potential Star Wars-themed hotel experience. The survey detailed an experience that would be immersive, integrate into Disney's upcoming Galaxy's Edge, and was expected to cost approximately $900 to $1,000 per stay. With overwhelming positive feedback from the survey, Disney greenlit the project. During the 2017 D23 Expo, Disney World announced the extraordinary Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. This was not just an ordinary hotel or run-of-the-mill attraction, it was set to be a revolutionary concept that would transport fans into the heart of the Star Wars universe. It wouldn't be until the following D23 in 2019 where fans would get an even better look at this new hotel. Concept art of the hotel was shown off and was revealed that the hotel would be called the Halcyon, and would offer a 2-night immersive journey for all guests akin to a cruise line experience. Of course, the prospect of fully immersing yourself in the world of Star Wars only grew the excitement of fans even more. And as the opening date of the Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser drew closer, initial excitement began to wane as more information emerged about the experience. While anticipation had initially reached fever pitch, fans' expectations started to temper as they learned more about the specifics of the offering. Adding to the reception challenge was the fact that Bob Chapek, then chairman of Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, was overseeing the project. Some fans felt that Chapek's focus on the business side of the experience might compromise the authenticity and immersive quality that they were hoping for, since during his time as chairman, he put a heavier focus on profitability than value. The major aspect that generated mixed reactions was the pricing. It became apparent that the Galactic Starcruiser experience came with a hefty price tag, ranging from $4,800 to $6,000 per cabin for a 2-night stay, depending on the number of guests. Fans' reactions to the price worsened when it came out that while staying at the hotel, you would only have access to Hollywood Studios for a limited time on one of the days in the hotel, and the rest of the time would be spent fully immersed in the windowless hotel. Considering one of Disney's more luxurious hotels, the Grand Floridian, averages about $1,400 for a 2-night stay, and way more flexibility when it comes to the parks made Starcruiser's price point even harder to swallow. Disney also heavily struggled with marketing leading up to the hotel's release. It seemed each press release and behind-the-scenes glimpse was met with backlash and disappointment. And it didn't help that none of the marketing material seemed to address the high price point. If anything, it seemed to make fans more concerned as what was being shown off did not match the quality of what you would expect to get for over $5,000. The hotel rooms Disney showed off were far from luxurious. The rooms contained a queen bed that seemed to fill the room, and 2 twin bunks hollowed in the wall. This was not what most fans would consider worth the price. All fans could do is wait for the opening and see if the experience would prove its worth. A week prior to opening its doors to the public, Disney invited many media outlets, content creators, and Disney bloggers to experience the hotel firsthand. Disney was very much hoping for this to combat their poor marketing leading up to the opening and generate buzz through social media and word of mouth. And to some extent, this tactic did work about as well as it could. The initial reactions to Galactic Starcruiser were mainly positive as far as the experience on the ship, and these content creators were able to provide clearer details on what fans could expect from their time aboard the Halcyon. Fans were able to see firsthand what a stay on the Galactic Starcruiser actually was, a fully immersed role-playing game in the setting of a cruise ship in the Star Wars universe. Not only do you stay in this hotel, but you interact with characters from the ship and unlock storylines by completing quests and missions, and sometimes being in the right place at the right time. It was also clear guests would be able to stay here multiple times and have a slightly different experience each time. However, most of the reviews still mentioned that the price point was still a hard selling point for most, especially those who were not super fans of Star Wars. One concern that kept popping up was that you really only got from the experience what you put into it, since it was a fully immersive role-playing experience, and if you didn't play along, you would miss out on the many storylines and secrets the hotel had to offer. That's a tall order to ask for someone paying $5,000 to be on board. Eventually, even with the initial reviews being positive, after just a few months of being open, Disney was having difficulty selling out the hotel rooms, and most voyages only partially filled. Dates hardly got booked up, and the media attention on the hotel diminished significantly. After 1 year of operation, in March of 2023, a couple of the original actors announced their departure from the hotel, and rumors of the hotel failing started to circulate. It wasn't until just a few months later, in May of 2023, that Disney essentially confirmed these rumors by announcing the hotel would close for good on September 30th. So what went wrong? Why didn't the Galactic Starcruiser draw in the thousands of fans that Disney thought the Star Wars brand would be able to? There's a few key things that kept the hotel from drawing crowds. The most obvious mistake Disney made was the marketing for the Galactic Starcruiser. It seemed Disney dropped the ball at every turn they could marketing this hotel prior to its release. In Disney's defense, how do you market a never-before-seen immersive role-playing hotel experience? It's a very hard concept to get across to general audiences. So obviously, when you're making this experience with a $5,000 price point and you can't really describe what it is, people aren't going to flock immediately. Disney did have a decent plan of marketing when they offered the pre-launch media stay. Many of the videos and articles posted from this journey were met with buzz, especially hearing the positive reactions. So, how come this didn't generate more traffic to the hotel? One reason may be those videos gave away too much about the hotel. Those who were still curious what the hotel was even after hearing the price point would pretty much get all their answers from watching these videos. Many YouTubers and content creators posted videos of their entire experience and the entire story of Galactic Starcruiser online. And by watching these, fans satisfied their curiosity of the hotel without having to fork over that money. Another major reason for failure is the timing in which the hotel was released. Despite being the third highest grossing media franchise of all time, only behind Pokemon and Mickey and Friends, the franchise power that Star Wars had slightly diminished in the years leading up to the hotel. The sequel trilogy was met with lukewarm reception, Book of Boba Fett was met with negative reviews, and many of Disney's original plans for the franchise were being cancelled. The trust fans had in Star Wars content in 2022 was not the trust that they had in it in 2015. And when fans learned that the ship's storyline took place during the sequel trilogy, many fans who panned the sequels were immediately dismissive of the experience. This brings us to the biggest issue with the Galactic Starcruiser and why it was always doomed to fail. It is meant for a very niche audience and was always going to lead to low attendance. Not only does this hotel require you to enjoy Star Wars, you also have to like role-playing. The Star Wars sequel trilogy, have $5,000 to spend on the experience, and have the ability to sit in a windowless hotel for much of a 2-day time frame. That is a very small number of people that are actually going to fit all those boxes. Tie that in with the fact that most people would rather spend the money on a full Disney experience rather than a 2-night hotel when they can get to Orlando. The Starcruiser was destined to close its doors. So how come Disney didn't find ways to reduce the price of the hotel? Well, as is, they were most likely barely breaking even on the hotel, if not losing money. Once you factor in the cost of operation, employment, food that's included in admission, and the fact that they only had 100 rooms to fill, that kept them from being able to lower the cost anymore. So why not add more rooms? Disney left themselves very little wiggle room and space to introduce more rooms to the hotel without significant construction costs to them. So even if they did add rooms, the price would most likely stay high for years to come because of the added cost to adding those rooms. Now that the hotel is set to close its doors in September, what is Disney going to do with this hotel? Well, one of the biggest theories going around right now is that Disney could turn it into an immersive restaurant experience or add-on experience for Batu. This could work as the hotel is situated right behind Galaxy's Edge, and if Disney wanted to expand their Star Wars theme park, they could eat into some of the space around the hotel as well. They could say the ship is docked at Hondo's for maintenance and is still open for meals or something like that. This would allow them to still collect some money on that original investment, but probably not as much money as they need to still break even on this property. There's also demand for Disney to open up the hotel as a regular Star Wars hotel. This is highly unlikely as the hotel was always built to be this immersive experience and not a regular hotel. The rooms are very small compared to those of other Disney hotels, there's no windows or easy access to exits, and not a lot of parking. So Disney would have to do some major renovations, and as I've mentioned a few times here, they probably are not looking to feed more money into this hotel. It is also possible that Disney takes this time to change stories, rework concept, and reopen the Halcyon at a lower price. They could change the theme to be set around the original trilogy, they could add another building and include more rooms, a pool, and other activities, or they could rework the story so there's more options and it's not the same story every time. However, again, all very unlikely due to the additional costs. It is much more likely Disney completely abandons this project altogether and counts their losses and the space gets used for another project, or stays vacant for many years to come. In their closing statement, Disney did say, "This premium boutique experience gave us the opportunity to try new things on a smaller scale of 100 rooms, and as we prepare for its final voyage, we will take what we've learned to create future experiences that can reach more of our guests and fans." Maybe at this point, they just see this hotel as a learning experience and will take what they learned onto the next project. Maybe some of the more immersive aspects will get molded into Galaxy's Edge, and they'll focus on more experiences there. Whatever Disney does next, they now have a lot of data of what consumers liked and disliked about the Halcyon. They know people are going to be entertained and interested by immersive role-playing experiences, and now, hopefully, they know how to price those experiences in the future. Hopefully, we see more affordable projects like this in the future, and Disney can take what they've learned and wow us all. Until then, hey Disney, want to give me a free trip to the Halcyon before it closes? That would be really swell.